Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. Well, it's Friday and we're heading off down to Dorset for 3 nights. We're going to be staying at Corfe Castle Camping and Caravanning Club site. We've not stayed there before. We've got a hard standing pitch with electric, so I'm looking forward to trying this site. Now, I know a lot of people do go down to Dorset and they go to this Jurassic Coast area. So hopefully this will be a bit of use for anybody that wants to go, whether it be in a motorhome, a caravan or with a tent. We spent a lot of time in this area in 2018 when we were wardens at Wareham Forest. So there's quite a lot of happy memories, to be fair, because we spent a lot of time there with my mum. So I'm really looking forward to this trip. So the plan today, I've got the motorhome ready. So the plan today is literally set off. It's about a 2 and a bit hour drive down there from home. So we're going to head hopefully straight for the site, I think. Depending on time, we might deviate and go and visit somewhere first. The places we intend to visit are going to be, we're going to hopefully walk into Corfe Castle from the site itself. Corfe Castle is a fairly small little, I think it is classed as a village, but obviously there is the castle, and there's a few places there to wander around, so we're going to do that. There's a fish and chip van apparently on site tonight, and today is National Fish and Chip Day, so I'm going to be like throwing myself into that completely. It's not healthy, I know, but I'm going to do it because I enjoy it, and you only live once. Then we want to go on to Swanage, but that might be Saturday, tomorrow. Hopefully get down into Swanage, get parked up, have a trot round. Swanage is really nice, so I'm looking forward to that. And depending on how time goes, we may then venture on to Studland. Studland's an amazing beach, but there is a naturist part, so you've got to be a bit careful where you end up, unless you like that sort of thing, which I don't. So we're going to go to Studland. And then I'm thinking Sunday could be the Chain Ferry. Now, if you don't know about the Chain Ferry, it is literally a little ferry and it runs from Studland over to Sandbanks, which is sort of the far side, the west side of Bournemouth. And you can go in your car or your motorhome or pedal bike, on foot, whatever you're on. So we're going to hopefully do that and get over to Bournemouth, and then we'll find somewhere to park and we'll do Bournemouth seafront, won't we, on Sunday?
Absolutely. But again, this is the amazing thing about the motorhome. We don't have to plan the route that we're taking to get over to the campsite today, and then when we get there, we'll just play it by ear and go out as and when we want to. So just
make it up as we go along.
A lot less to think about, a lot less to plan. So we can just do it ad hoc. So that's fantastic.
I think Monday we may head on to Weymouth on our way home, calling at Weymouth. Again, lovely place is Weymouth. It's a little bit more sort of tacky seaside, but I quite like that. So yeah, trip to Weymouth and then home. So those are our plans. Got a couple of meals out as well that we're going to do, so that might give you some ideas of where to eat, because there are some really nice places. These are places we used to go, and it's sort of varying budgets as well, which will be helpful for a lot of people who you know, are on a bit of a budget. So those are our plans. So hopefully the weather will stay nice, and we'll get on the road now. I'll stop talking. We'll get on the road.
We'll take you with us.
And we'll take you with us, and it might give you some inspiration as well. So super. We'll see you on the road. Morning everyone. So it is now Saturday morning. We travelled down here to Dorset yesterday. It took us about 2.5 hours. We arrived at the Corfe Castle site. The access road is a little bit narrow in places, and then the track up to the site itself, again, a little bit narrow, but doable even with an 8-foot wide caravan or a large motorhome. When we arrived, we were a little bit early, so we turned around and we headed down to Studland. And we parked at the National Trust car park. I think we were at South Beach, and there was a pub there as well called the Banks Arms. Had a huge beer garden. You ordered on the phone and you had an amazing view over the sea. Unfortunately, the food wasn't quite as good as the view, so I wouldn't say I'd overly recommend it for lunch, but parking there and going down to Studland, yes, it was beautiful. And we got down in the motorhome and we parked. I'd say really 6 metres is probably the maximum you're going to park down there, unless the overflow car park is open. And then we headed back to site. We've got a really nice pitch, hard standing, which is what we'd booked. We've had a lot of time on grass, but we thought we'd come back to hard standing, setting up. Jules drove onto the pitch, put the ramps out, and literally we levelled out, and it was that easy. The awning came out, the table and chairs, followed by Fudge, who was quite keen to get out at that point, and we were set up, and that's as difficult as it was with the motorhome. So we had a quiet night on site. We've had fish and chips for tea last night, and then this morning, well, I couldn't believe it, 7:30 this morning, having my first cup of tea. We've been sat out having a couple of cups of tea this morning. I saw some deer literally right at the side of our pitch, and just as we've come out now to film this before we go off for the day, the deer have come back, and they've literally just been here at the back of the pitch. So I can't believe how tame they are. I mean, I've got quite a bit of experience with deer, and apart from like a deer park, I've never seen them so confident, really. So wow, amazing. We've had a couple of cups of tea this morning. It's now heading up to, it's just before 9 o'clock. We're going to pack up, hit the road, and get down to Swanage, hopefully for sort of just, yeah, 9:15, really. So what I'll do is we'll get this packed up, and we will see you down in Swanage. So we've arrived in Swanage. We've come down the A351 from Corfe. It's a good road. It's easily accessible with a motorhome, or if you're towing a caravan down to one of the sites here, there'll be no problem, even with an 8-foot wide. So we've parked in the car park on Victoria Road. I think it's called Main Beach Car Park. We've paid £5 for 4 hours. It's 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and as you can see, the car park is pretty much empty, really. If you want to just have a look round, because over here behind me as well there's some there's some coach bays. They're on that far side near the BMX park. I don't know whether you can park your motorhome there or not. I did read on Park for Night app that you can, but I wouldn't go by that. I would check on that. So if you've got a larger motorhome, that might be a possibility. If not, I mean, we're only 6 metres, so we're in one bay, but if you've got a longer motorhome, you'd be able to get your 2 bays. So parking with a motorhome here in Swanage, not a problem. I've got Fudge, he's on the end of this lead, and we're going to head off now down into the town centre, which is basically just straight down this road, Victoria Road, straight to the seafront. I think it's literally just a couple of minutes walk. So we're going to get down there on the seafront, and then we'll see what's there. So yeah, I'll see you on the seafront. Come on, Fudge. So it's literally a couple of minutes walk from the car park, and it brings you straight here, and this is Swannage Pier, and this is the seafront. So from here you can either then head left, and that'll take you sort of down and away from the town, and there's some beach huts. If you go right, it'll take you towards the town and the harbour. So I think we'll make a decision which way we go first. It's also worth noting that in the town centre there's a railway, and it's the Swanage railway line. It runs from Norden, which is a little bit further north from here, and it comes down through Corfe Castle and then arrives here in Swanage. It's quite expensive, I will say that, but it's part of your day out. So if you were motorhoming or in your tent or caravan at Corfe Castle and you didn't want to drive down, you could use the train, just like the van go past. You could use the train to get down here to Swanage and make a day of it. So yeah, I'll remember to put a link in the vlog for the railway just for your information. So yeah, I'm going to head on to the seafront. So if you walk down to the town end of Swanage, we'll find this little mini golf and bouncy castle for the kids, which is a bit of entertainment. The beach at Swanage is amazing. It's proper sand. Dogs aren't allowed on from, I think it's the 1st of May to the 30th of October, although Fudge did fall off the wall and ended up on the beach, but we quickly recovered him. The town is just further up here. There's amusement arcades, there's ice cream shops, fish and chips, tea rooms, all sorts. So we'll venture off into the town. So we've wandered through the town and we're now heading sort of towards the harbour end. We've had a cooked breakfast, well Jules has, I haven't, but on one of my Facebook posts somebody said that the best fish and chips in Swanage is here at the fish place. I don't know if that's true, but just let that go past. I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to actually try some at lunchtime because we're not far off lunchtime and Jules has had his cooked breakfast and I am starving, so I will be trying them, so hopefully they'll be good. But I'm going to venture on now and walk down towards the harbour, which is this way. So the fish place has opened, I've been and I've got mini cod and mini chips for me, £5.50, so I'm going to eat those as I walk back up to the motorhome. So that's a whistle-stop tour of Swanage. It's a really nice place. It is busy today, obviously it's Saturday, beginning of September, but definitely worth a visit. So we're going to head back now to the motorhome and back up to the site. I'll see you later. So that's it, I'm walking back to the motorhome now with Fudge. He's been pretty good, apart from when he fell off the wall onto the beach. Had a nice day here. There's a lot to do. You could certainly spend a day here. I've not had ice cream. I have had fish and chips, very, very nice. That is an 8 out of 10 for the fish place. It's a bit busier here now, as you can see. But yeah, really good day out. So we'll head off and get back to site. There's a few clouds come over. Tomorrow our plan is we're going to get the chain ferry from down at Studland and we're going to make our way over on the ferry in the motorhome to Bournemouth, and we have a day at Bournemouth tomorrow, all being well. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Morning, so it's Sunday. Last night we had a quiet night, we just did some burgers here on site. Today the plan is to head off down to get the ferry from Studland over to Sandbanks. That's the chain ferry. It runs, I think, every day of the year from about 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, and it saves you having to drive all the way around past Poole to Bournemouth. The cost for a up to 3.5 ton motorhome is £4.50. It's also £4.50 if you're in a car. So we're going to head off and do that, and then from there we're going hopefully to have a walk on the seafront at Bournemouth. Car parking, you can park a motorhome at Beach Road, which is a little bit further out, or failing that, you're going to have to go into the town centre, and there is a car park. I don't know which the name of the road is, but that's a lot more expensive. That's about £6 for 2 hours. So let's head off to the ferry. So as you can see, we didn't quite end up in Bournemouth for our walk on the front. We're back on the site. The ferry was excellent. That was really good fun. It only took about 4 minutes to go across, bit of fun, and then we drove through Sandbanks. Now, Sandbanks is probably one of the most affluent areas in the country, and it was quite impressive. It was nice to have a drive through there. We then drove into Bournemouth, again, very accessible with the motorhome, but when we got to the car park where I wanted to park in the centre, it was absolutely rammed, was Bournemouth. We could have parked, that was not the problem. It was just absolutely packed, and just didn't really fancy that. Swanage was busy yesterday, and today with having fudge, it was just too busy with it being a Sunday. So what we decided to do is come back and have a walk down to Corfe Castle. So we've just literally landed back. We're going to saddle fudge up and we're going to walk from the site into Corfe Castle village itself. Hopefully a quick visit to the bakery and walk back. So yeah, let's get our bags and head off to Corfe. So if you do stay at the Corfe Castle site, behind me is the gate that we've just come through from the site, and we head up this track, and this track takes us to the top, and then we turn right. Come on, fudge. And then when we turn right, it will basically cut us down to the path that will take us straight into Corfe Castle village. I think altogether from here it's going to be about a mile walk, but don't quote me on that. So it should be about a mile walk, and then we're into Corfe Castle. If you're not staying on this site here, Corfe Castle, then there's plenty of parking just before you get into Corfe from the Wareham side, and it's the National Trust car park. I don't know how much it is because I've not been in it. It does look like you can park motorhomes in there. It was busy just now when we've come back past it. Obviously it's Sunday. If you're a National Trust member, then I would imagine that that would be free parking, and then you can then walk into the village itself. So we're going to head into Corfe once Fudge gets his walking paws in action. Come on, Fudge. There's another gate just here. This is the top gate from the site. So if you popped out there, you join the path here. In Corfe itself, there's a couple of little shops, a couple of pubs and the village bakery. I'm hoping the village bakery is going to be open because I really would like some treats from there. So yeah, we'll head along the path and I'll see you in Corfe. So if you've walked up from the Corfe Castle Camping Caravanning Club site, it's about a mile. It's an easy to moderate walk. It's obviously downhill, but then uphill, because what goes down must come up and what goes up must come down. So you pop out here in Corfe village. Just to the left there, there's the Corfe Castle tea room, and opposite that you've got the sweet shop. So this is where you need to be looking if you've walked into the village through that way. So we'll venture into the village now, see what's open. It is a Sunday, and we'll have a look around and get some bits, hopefully. Oof, rain. So that was Corfe Castle. It was a bit of a quick trip round there because we got caught out in a rain shower, which wasn't forecast. But the walk was nice. If you are wanting to park, do park outside of the village at the National Trust car park and walk in. The village bakery was really good. Plenty of cakes, pasties, sandwiches, reasonably priced. There's a couple of pubs there as well for a lunch. Again, parking would be your issue, so park at the National Trust. And yeah, it was good. I think the best bit was the walk because the scenery was beautiful. And Fudge certainly enjoyed it. So yeah, our plan now is we've just got back to site. We're going out for a meal later. We're going to the Seven Stars pub near Wool. It's just outside of Wool. So it's about, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe from this site. It's a really nice pub, plenty of seating, good food. And they've also got a campsite. I've never stayed on it. But when we were here in 2018, we did sort of see it quite a bit because we ate at this pub quite a bit with my mum. So yeah, it looks a nice site. Now, funnily enough, when I put a Facebook post on about being here, my mum's best friend, Anne, it turns out she's staying at Hunter's Moon, which is a nice caravan and motorhome club site out just outside of Wareham. And she's actually here for the weekend, which is a complete coincidence, and neither of us knew we were here. So she's going to come with us, her and her husband. So it'll be 4 of us having a good catch up for a socially distanced meal at the Seven Stars. So other than that, unless we see you there later, which we probably won't, then we will see you tomorrow morning when we leave this site to head home via a trip to Weymouth. So I'll see you later. Morning, it's Monday, it's our last day and we are heading home today. Last night we had a really nice meal out at the Seven Stars near Wool. That was really good to catch up with some friends. Definitely recommend it for a meal if you're in that area. We are heading on to Weymouth heading home via Weymouth. So we're going to drop in at Weymouth. Weymouth's nice. It's quite a big town. It's very much more sort of tacky seaside, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way because I love tacky seaside. So we're going to head there, get parked up in one of the large, because there's a lot of car parks in Weymouth, so we're going to head to one of the larger ones, get parked up and then have a trot along the front again. We might bob into the town. It's a bit harder with having Fudge with us because there's some really good shops in Weymouth, but when you've got Fudge with you it's a little bit more difficult. So that's the plan. We'll head off and catch you in Weymouth. It's about 40 minutes drive from the site is Weymouth. We've parked at the Swanage car park. Absolutely loads of parking spaces. I know it's Monday, but I doubt it gets that full all the time. So we've parked here, £3.50 for 3 hours, and we're just going to walk now down to the seafront. There's sort of a bit of a viaduct down there, an underpass, sorry, so we're going to take that. I think it'll just be a couple of minutes down to the seafront. So if you're looking for parking, Swanage car park is a good option, particularly if you've got a motorhome. Ours is fitted nicely in one bay, but there's loads of spaces, so super. Right, we'll head off to the beach. So this is the seafront at Weymouth. As I say, we've walked down. So if you were coming here, there's the town centre there. It's not amazing, don't get me wrong, but the seafront is fantastic for walking on the promenade. The beach goes all the way from one side, and then it literally follows it around to where the beach huts are. There's loads of little cafes and things as well, cake shops. It is cheaper here, I'd say that. It's probably the cheaper part of Dorset. Yeah, it's just like their sort of more tacky seaside town, but it's a nice day out and we're going to have a wander around with Fudge, so we'll leave you with it. But yeah, there's Weymouth. Hopefully that's given you a bit of inspiration if you want to visit Dorset. So as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.